series, every second Thursday of each month, we present healthy living resources that will help you to live well. And the hosts are three individuals that work with the Family Consumer Sciences at the Ohio State University, the College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences, and they have been working in a variety of different areas. Amanda Woods is the Healthy Finance Program specialist. Amy Meehan is the Healthy People, and Stacey Baker is with the Healthy Relationships. And it's always great to have individuals come on and talk about ways that will benefit us. And today we're going to be talking about benefits in walking. So I want to welcome Amanda Woods and Amy Meehan.
Hi, thanks, Patrick. I'm Amanda Woods. I'm the Healthy Finances Program Specialist. Then I have Amy Meehan here, the Healthy People Program Specialist. And on this Healthy Living telecast, we each month are going to bring a topic to you and how stress impacts one of the areas of our life. So whether it be healthy finances, healthy relationships, or healthy people, we're going to discuss how various stressors can impact those areas of our lives and ways that we can work to mitigate that stress, but also improve our physical and mental health. So today we have Amy Meehan, if you want to tell us a little bit about what you do here in Extension.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on today. So like Amanda said, I'm Amy Meehan, the Healthy People Program Specialist with OSU Extension. And so I work in the state office on campus, and I help support and coordinate any of the health and wellness programming that are educated across the state of Ohio. So we develop programming, we evaluate our programming. We love just creating programs for our community members out all across the state to help them live healthier, better lives.
Excellent. Well, so today we are going to discuss, so stress obviously impacts all of our lives. And there are a lot of ways that we can lessen that stress and improve our health. And today we're going to talk about walking.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit of the benefits of walking and how that impacts our lives.
Sure. Walking is a really great opportunity to engage and reflect with yourself and kind of help improve your mental health. So walking, physical activity in general, but walking specifically can be a mood booster. As you participate in physical activity, it releases endorphins in your bodies. And those are kind of the happy chemicals that make us feel better and increase our overall mood. Walking could also help you feel and look better. Just by walking, you get outside, you get some time away from screens or work or the typical stressors that would play a role in your everyday life. With that walking, typically, if you do it regularly enough or vigorously enough, you could wind up losing some body size, which is never a bad thing. So you might look and feel better about yourself. Engaging in regular physical activity also helps to keep your muscles strong, your bones strong. It increases your cardiovascular health. There are many different ways in which engaging in physical activity regularly throughout the week can help increase your overall health, both mental and physical. It's indicated that about 200 minutes of walking a week is probably good enough to have you see those benefits in your life. Still more research needs to be done with that, but there were some studies that came out recently that were pretty rigorous that suggested that 200 minutes of walking or 150 minutes, which is what the Healthy People regulations here in the United States recommends, participating in every week to see those benefits.
So we're sharing that study now. So the physical activity, walking, quality of life study that basically is what you said supports the fact that walking every day
Absolutely.
Will help reduce stress and improve your sleep. So if you have an interest in that, we are sharing that screen with you here.
It's a very scientifically rigorous study. It was conducted with, I believe, 1,904 women in Australia, and those women were followed for 3+ years. So in scientific terms, that's pretty significant. That's a lot of people for a long period of time to really prove their point that walking can, in fact, impact your mental health in a positive way.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Amy. So I love to hike, which is basically walking on a trail. So that's typically where I would choose to spend my time being physically active. For people who are maybe in more metro areas, for people whose city might not be as walkable, does it matter where they're doing the walking? Are there benefits to certain areas over others? Like, how do you feel about maybe location?
Sure. So definitely just getting out there and walking at all is great. That's wonderful. Wherever you can, wherever you feel safe and comfortable, that's what's important. If it's convenient to walk down your sidewalk, if you live in a suburban neighborhood, that's great, but we know that that's not always the case. Especially in cities, even though there might be sidewalks, you're going to run into damaged sidewalks, crosswalks, lots of pedestrian traffic or vehicular traffic that could be dangerous or off-putting to go for walks. So in thinking about that, it would be great to possibly find a nearby park. I believe a lot of local transit will have stops at parks or like a rec center, for instance. Or for us living up here in Ohio, I know during the winter, it makes it very tough to get outside in those really frigid temperatures, and nobody wants to sludge around in the snow or risk falling on ice. So a great alternative could be mall walking. Going to mall near you. Again, that local transit should have stops there. You can take as much time as you want to just walk around. You'll be able to kind of look and see what stores are there, to kind of keep you entertained. Lots to look at, basically. But walking in nature does have its benefits. That can be a really great way to, like we kind of talked about earlier, unplug from society and your screens and any other typical stressors that you might run into in a big city. So if you do have the opportunity to plan for a weekend hike or something like that, that would be great in terms of being able to really reflect on yourself and get those nature sounds and smells and experiences in for yourself that can really help de-stress.
Awesome. So I know that some people will go for maybe a several mile walk once a week. Other people might go for 20 minutes a day. Is there an amount that we should be walking, or how much should we be walking to feel the positive effects of walking both on our mental and physical health? And should it be stretched out maybe over an entire week versus 1 or 2 days of more activity than not?
Definitely. That's a great question. The recommendation is to get at least 10,000 steps a day.
Okay.
That's roughly 5 miles of stepping. But that doesn't need to be dedicated walking steps. Let's just step throughout the day. A good dedicated walk could be maybe 2,000, 4,000 steps. 2,000 steps is about a mile, typically, depending on your stride. So with that 10,000 steps a day in mind, as much as you can spread it out, that would be the ideal. That said, if you do go for a really long hike or something on the weekend, 10 miles or whatnot, that's great too. Just trying to get that time in is what's important throughout the week, and having that average of 10,000 steps over each day. That said, nobody says you need to go and do, a 30-minute walk every day, 30 minutes all together. It can be 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes here, whatever makes the most sense for you to break it up. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has a different schedule and a different job. So just being more aware of trying to be active and get those steps in throughout your day, that's what's important.
Definitely. It's interesting that you say that everyone's different when it comes to walking. I'm a very slow walker. And there have been times when I've been running and have been passed by people walking. So we all obviously have different speeds, different lengths of legs, that thing. But is there a certain speed? How fast should we be breaking a sweat to gain the mental health benefits of walking? Or is simply going out and moving enough?
Honestly, there needs to be more research done with that, and that study that we shared earlier does say that. While they found from that specific study that about 200 minutes-ish of walking a week is good, the hope would be that your walking does increase your heart rate a little bit so that you get those extra cardiovascular benefits. But truly just getting out there and doing something, that's already more than a lot of us are doing. Just by getting up from your desk and taking a walk around the building is wonderful.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
We have individuals that stand at their desk. Is that the same as walking?
No. Only because you are standing in one spot so that you're not actually moving your muscles as much. That said, it is better than sitting constantly. So it's nice to have that variation, but getting those actual active steps in is really important throughout your day. So as much as you can think about doing that would be wonderful, but standing is great because then you're not holding your muscles in certain positions for so long as you would sitting, that are either stretched or flexed in certain ways that they might not be meant to be doing that for hours at a time. And that's why we have, we see back issues and things like that.
Okay,
Definitely. But 200 minutes is kind of what that study suggested. And that's kind of the beauty of walking, though, is that really any age, physical ability, fitness ability, wherever you're at, walking is something that everyone can do for the most part. And so it's a really good starting, low impact way for people to be active. And if they start to really like walking, they can upgrade to hiking, which has a little more terrain involved, correct? A little more strength that's required depending on where you're hiking. You could upgrade to running if you want to go a little quicker, get a little more cardio in. But ultimately, walking is just kind of a great gateway exercise activity to get you moving more on a daily basis and hopefully encourage you to be more active overall.
Gets you out there, gets your heart rate up, gets you sweating. I used to work with somebody who would go for walks every evening. And then one day she decided to start running, just out of the blue, decided to just start running and then became a runner. So it definitely kind of was that gateway activity for her that made her a more active person. But, Patrick touched on one of his coworkers standing at work. Some people don't have that ability, don't have the proper desk.
Sure.
What about those people who spend a good portion of their day seated at a desk? What can they do to help achieve a more active lifestyle?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And unfortunately, that is a lot of us who get stuck in these situations that we do have to sit at a desk for many hours a day. There are a lot of ways that you can still get your steps in, whether it's a walk at lunchtime, 10 minutes, that's nothing crazy. Hopefully everybody has enough time to do that. You could take a walking meeting. If you know you're going to have a meeting with somebody, you could, instead of sitting at a table having the discussion, go walk around the building. You could be really mindful of your time throughout the day, and every hour, whatever timestamp you put on it, you get up and you go get a drink of water. You go to the bathroom. Instead of sending somebody an email, you can walk down the hall and talk to them in person. Any little way to get those extra steps in really counts. You can also walk before you get to work, walk in the morning. You can walk to work if you have that ability, if you don't live too far from where you are and it's safe to walk your route there. You can walk after work. A lot of people like to walk after dinner because that's a good way to help digest your food and decrease your blood sugar after you've just consumed a lot of food. So there are definitely different ways that you can try to fit those steps in, even if you have a more restrictive job that forces you to be at your desk all day.
That's great. Okay, so we've talked about the benefits of walking on our physical health, on our mental health. What are we doing in Extension to help address this need? How are we working to make it more accessible to the people of Ohio?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So we are working on a new initiative right now.
All right. I'm going to share this website with you guys as well.
To partner with a walking organization. They are a nonprofit organization that was actually founded in Columbus, Ohio. That's where their headquarters are, in Westerville, called Walk the Dock. And so all of their walks are free. They have tons of chapters all over the nation and internationally. So you should be able to hopefully find a walk near you pretty easily. And as you can see on their website here, there's a little tab to join a walk. And so that can take you to your state, your city, and can help you find the closest walk to you. So we are hoping to partner with them to start offering a direct opportunity for our clients to go walk with a Doc in conjunction with our Dining with Diabetes programming, because the two really go hand in hand. When you're trying to manage your diabetes, physical activity is a great way to do that. Like I mentioned about walking after a meal, that can help decrease your blood sugar, which is a component of managing your diabetes. So be on the lookout. We are starting to pilot this here in Central Ohio to kind of get this underway. That if you have a Dining with Diabetes class with us, you can also then walk with a doc at a location that we will determine. In the meantime, feel free to take advantage of Walk with a Doc that's already existing. Like I said, since they are headquartered in Central Ohio, they do have many walks across the whole state of Ohio. So I hope you were able to find and connect with them. And we're really excited to be able to offer our specific clientele through Extension a way in which they can engage in physical activity, as we've discussed today, since there's so many benefits related to doing that.
Definitely. So just a little bit more about Walk with a Doc. What can somebody expect if they were to sign up for a walk? Like, what would that Walk with a Doc experience look like for them?
Totally. Typically, the walk is an hour, and you can walk for as little or as long as you'd like. There's typically a set-out path. We make sure that the locations are, in fact, walkable, so there's like a sidewalk, things like that. Granted, some walks like to be different and might have different variations of how they go about offering their walks, but typically safe location, walkable area, accessible. a doctor or a physician of some kind will lead the walk. So they're typically the sponsoring physician, and they will give a brief discussion on any medical topic that makes sense or is relevant, rather what's at the time or what's trendy or what their specific specialization is, to kind of get their group going on a specific topic. And then the doctor will lead the walk around that path for the whole hour. And then that leaves them open for the entire hour for participants to engage with them. They can talk about any of their own personal medical questions with the physician. They can talk about whatever the physician gave his talk on, whatever makes the most sense. Participants then have that opportunity to be with the physician, and the physician has the opportunity to give back to his or her community members. If you don't want to walk the whole time, there is a starting point where everybody will congregate, and there's typically healthy snacks, water available. As you walk, at your first walk, you will get a pedometer so you can track your steps, and hopefully that will encourage you to go walk on your own outside of the walk. Walking with a group like this is a great thing because it gives you that support system and extra motivation and accountability to get out there every day. So if you're not somebody who's super interested in walking right off the bat or might need some extra motivation to do so, this is a great opportunity because you can make some friends you could go walk with. After 3 walks, you get a t-shirt that's a nice dry fit t-shirt that says Walk with a Doc on it, that you can wear to your walks. So there are lots of different incentives that are offered throughout the year that are all walking related to help really encourage you keep up your steps throughout the week, even when you're not walking with a doc. But every place is a little different, and every place is a little different and fun as a result. So I encourage you to check it out.
That's great. The incentive of having access to a physician to run any questions by, whether it be about the physical activity or not, is definitely a great thing for people who might not have regular access to a physician. So that's a great incentive. So you mentioned that Walk with a Doc would be partnering with what we do here at Extension. Can you tell us a little bit more about our contribution to that partnership?
Absolutely. One last thing on Walk with a Doc, though, just to reiterate, it is free, completely free to the participants. All the incentives are free, showing up to the walk, engaging with the physician, all free, which is awesome. But yes, for what we offer as Extension. So the specific program that we're looking to partner with this walking group is called Dining with Diabetes. That is our Dining with Diabetes Management program, which Amanda is sharing on the screen now. Thank you. So if you go to our website, fcs.osu.edu, you will be able to find our different programming that we offer. So this is specifically our Dining with Diabetes page. So Dining with Diabetes, it's a multi-part series that goes through what diabetes is kind of from a nutrition standpoint and how to manage your diet around your diabetes. And then we also have a cooking demo portion. So not only are you learning what you should be doing nutritionally if you have diabetes or have a loved one with diabetes, you then also get to experience trying to cook in a way that makes sense for somebody who is diabetic. And you get to sample that food because our extension educators will work with you to build the skills to prepare the foods that would be useful for either managing your own diabetes or someone in your household. And so if you wouldn't mind scrolling down, on our page here, you will also find where our educators offer these courses, the different counties they are in. So if you are looking for a class near you, feel free to reach out to any of our educators or myself. We also have a schedule towards the bottom there that will show you any currently scheduled classes, and classes get scheduled all the time, and this website will be updated reflecting that. So feel free to take advantage of our classes. And then the hope would be through this partnership, as our classes are offered, then we would also have a related walk that you could attend sometime during the week as well, so that you get that extra physical activity component involved. One other piece of Dining with Diabetes that we have to offer is an online course called Dining with Diabetes Beyond the Kitchen, and we're about to share that right now. So here we are, Dining with Diabetes Beyond the Kitchen, free online course. Anybody can register for it. Very similar material. The only difference is that cooking demos cannot happen online typically, but with the walks and offering more of an in-person support that way. Anybody who does the online course is also more than welcome to attend a walk with us so that they can engage with us directly. That said, there are videos online that kind of walk you through like how to shop at a grocery store, how to make decisions about your shopping and your nutrition. So a lot of similar content that's just easier to access if you don't necessarily have an in-person class offered right in your county. So definitely lots of different options for you to engage with us.
That's great. So how would somebody who had an interest in dining with diabetes beyond the kitchen, how would they access this resource?
Definitely. There should be a link on our fcs.osu.edu page here where they can just go, you can go to the site and you can sign up for free and select the class, and then you'll be, I believe it's on our E-Extension site. That it will take you to. So yeah, you just sign up and create a free account. It's a free class. And once you get your profile set up and going, one of our team members will then email you, welcoming you, and you can work through all of the modules and the quizzes at your own pace. There are also lots of resources listed, different websites or other tools online that you can go visit and explore. And then you have access to it for as long as you need.
If I could add one thing, Dwayne Rigsby, along with Dr. Dan Remley, usually the first Thursday of each month, I believe at 10 o'clock, has Dining with Diabetes program, which is sort of adjacent to some of the things that you're involved with. And I encourage the listening audience, there is a wealth of knowledge and information on those web pages, because diabetes affects how many out of 100? 10? 15?
Yeah, quite a bit. Type 2 diabetes is just continually on the rise. It's hard to know an exact statistic, but it's a lot, unfortunately.
And I know that your program is very instrumental in helping people to live healthy and eat well, regardless of whether you have diabetes or not. So it's a good program.
Anyone can benefit, absolutely.
So we kind of started this telecast. We wanted to do this program because we saw that there was a need to react to the various stress that we face in life. Mm-hmm. The stress that kind of accompanies chronic illness mm-hmm. is massive. So especially if it's a newer diagnosis or something that's happened more recently, mm-hmm. Kind of adapting to that and moving past that could cause anybody a pretty significant amount of stress. Mm-hmm. So knowing that these resources are here, mm-hmm. Knowing that they can not only get active with Walk with a Doc, or just are encouraged to be more active in their daily life, but also that we offer the Dining with Diabetes portal as well for them to kind of stay on top and be more proactive about
Definitely.
Living healthy.
Gain control of your nutrition, be more confident in the choices you make at the grocery store, eating out, build skills to cook at home for yourself. Absolutely. All of that would be hugely beneficial in decreasing stress in your life while managing a chronic disease.
Can I ask a real quick question about the walking? I know that many individuals also ride bicycles. Mm-hmm. I know that bicycles is not walking, but bicycles are not running either. Mm-hmm. So where is the bicycles involved with the walking?
Well, I mean, getting active at all is really important. And if you prefer bicycling to walking or running, that's fantastic. It is low impact, so that's really important for somebody like myself. I've had 5 knee surgeries, so bicycling would be a great opportunity for me to engage in physical activity that's less aggressive or impactful than running. That said, though, with walking, there's a little more opportunity for those who might not be as comfortable on a bike or as stable on a bike. Really anybody can walk, but with biking, you might be a little more restricted if you have to, like in the city of Columbus, you have to ride in the streets. And not everybody's as comfortable with that if you'd be more comfortable on a sidewalk away from the cars. So just kind of keeping in mind those few different pieces, whether you're walking or biking, it's just whatever you're more comfortable with, but being active either way, that's what's important.
That's interesting. We know that through my lifetime, smoking went to, everyone's doing it, to let's Ohio State University is a smoke-free environment. And we can see as the older generation gets going, there's a lot of COPD. And so just a quick comment, since we only have 1 or 2 minutes left. How does that help people with COPD walking?
Definitely. I've not looked specifically into studies for people with COPD, but getting out and breathing air and being in a more regular rhythm that walking will force you to do in terms of your breathing, you kind of gain that lung capacity and take better, stronger breaths. So that might help you fight that type of lung disease if you are suffering from that type of a thing. Just being outside more regularly and forcing yourself to breathe more and build the muscles that also support your lungs, as you're walking, and that cardiovascular health that goes right along with that. Trying to just keep all of the parts of your body healthy can impact, for the best, different chronic diseases.
And I think it's important to also just kind of urge, anybody to be active. If it's not walking, if that's just something that you don't enjoy and, it's not something that you see as sustainable, to find something that is sustainable for you. This morning at the gym, somebody made the statement that they swim every day because they enjoy swimming, and it's what gets them to the gym every day. They really enjoy swimming. If they were going to be going and lifting or doing something else, they probably wouldn't show up. So I think that it's good to just pursue something that you enjoy doing so that you are physically active on a regular basis.
It's said that the best workout is the one that you will do.
Right.
Well, very good. I really learned a lot listening to, we're listening to Amanda Woods and Amy Meehan, who are with the Family Consumer Sciences at the Ohio State University, the Extension programs, and they work with various different healthy finances, healthy people, healthy relationships, and they are not just for the Columbus area. They are a part of the whole Ohio network and on a global basis. So I really appreciate being able to talk with Amy and Amanda for Healthy Living. I'm Patrick Dangle. Thank you for listening.